Losing what exactly? Because when I think about fear of losing people, I often think about the fact that sometimes what we're afraid of losing is a version of ourselves that exists around those people or that person. Bear with me. For example, when you end a relationship, right? We often suffer and we go through a mourning process, right? After the end of the relationship, because the person that we were in that relationship does not exist anymore. That version of yourself that was in love, that loved that person, that had those friends and that routine, that life does not exist anymore. So when we think about being afraid of losing people, what exactly are we losing? Because it's a life natural rule in my perspective that people come and go. No one is really meant to stay. Every person in your life is temporary. Okay? And why is that? Well, people, you know, they go to the next level or they move countries or they just stop talking to you. If you think about it, every person that you know right now, at some point in your life, they're either not going to be here in this planet or they're just not going to be part of your life anymore. So the sooner you stop being afraid of losing people, the better, okay? Especially if we're talking about romantic relationships. Girl, if something that's gonna come and go, that's romantic bonds, okay? Friends, they tend to stick around a little longer. Your parents, they're gonna be around for decades if you're lucky to have them. Your family, okay? But at some point, they're also going to leave. And I think it's important that we remember that. Because this fear, right, which is all fear is a little bit irrational, it's an inevitable part of life. Okay, we're going to lose people. They're meant to be part of our lives for a moment, and they're meant to go away. How do I perceive people in my life, considering that I am a person, I believe in the universe. I believe that life orchestrates encounters with a purpose. Okay. So every single person I met in my life, they had a purpose. Okay. It doesn't mean that I was taking advantage of them, that I was using them. No. It meant that they were going to teach me something. That relationship was going to teach me something. That person came into my life because I needed to acquire a new skill. I needed to develop. I needed to level up. And the universe was providing me an opportunity to do that. Okay. I can think of a lot of examples, but one I can think about, it's my friend that taught me how to say no. I was like 26. I was way down the line in my 20s, right? Half past it. And I moved to a big city. And I really struggled with saying no because I wanted to be included, right? I wanted to have friends. And I also wanted to experience the city. But I was in a tight budget. Okay. I had just recently moved there. I had just got a job. And that friend was asking me out like to go to a bar after work, happy hour stuff, go out on the weekends, and just be all around the city. Like I had been there my whole life. I hadn't. Okay, I was just getting there, but I really had a difficulty with saying no. I really struggled with saying no to people, being like, no, today I'm gonna be home, or no, I'm not. I'm not ready. I'm not ready feeling it. I was always down for anything. And that down the line began to cause me trouble. And that's when I realized, okay, I have a problem because I can't say no to people. And it wasn't only with friendships, it was at work. I was saying yes to every project. I was saying yes to every responsibility. I was doing everything that everyone was handing me, you know? It was also extending to my family relationships. If my mother needed something, if anyone needed something from me, I was like, yes, I have the money. I'm gonna lend you the money. I'm gonna solve the problem for me. I was always trying to help everybody. I could never say no, even when I felt depleted or taken advantage of. I couldn't really say no. So the purpose of that friend in my life, he's still my friend. Okay, we're not living the same reality anymore. I like to say, like, we're not in the same space because I'm no longer living in a big city. I'm back in my hometown for now. But we're not in our daily day lives. Our relationship, our friendship had a beginning, middle, and an end. I mean, I don't say that it has ended, right? But at some point we had to cut ties for other reasons, right? But what I've learned with that friendship, how to say no. That was the main lesson of that person in my life. Also, how to set boundaries and so on. But that was a lesson. And then I had other lessons with other people and people that I thought, oh, this person is going to be my friend. And we did start as friends. But that friendship developed into a lesson. So sometimes I think about relationships, like romantic relationships, and we're like, oh my God, is it a lesson or is it the love of my life? Oh, that's true. That's true even with friendships, right? Even our friends can teach us things. Even the people we meet and we think, oh, we're going to be friends. This is going to be so nice. Those people can also be a lesson. Okay. So beware. And that's not a bad thing. That's how life goes. Okay. If we're trying to improve ourselves, if we're trying to grow and we have a vision of who we want to be and where we want to be and the kind of person that we want to be, to have, XYZ, life is going to work together with us and provide us the lessons. And the best way that life teaches us is through other people. Okay? So I'd say the number one reason we have other people in the world, it's to learn. And the last thing I want to tell you about this, I mean, we need to confront the fear of losing people, right? If at this point in your life you feel like you're going to lose someone, I think the fear it usually bubbles up when we are in a romantic relationship. If you're afraid of losing that person, girl, you're already lost. I'm afraid to tell you that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to tell you that. But if you're afraid of losing someone, you already lost them. That's how it works. There's no way out of it. And let this sink in. Okay, I know it's a tough one. Okay, you can chug it out with some whiskey, but it's the truth. People are not meant to stay forever. They're not. And when they do, oh my God, that's great. Honestly, I don't walk around the world expecting people to be part of my life forever because I had to learn it through my own experiences that this is the way it is. I'm 29, okay? I have lived. So I understand now that this is the way it is. Some people come and go. Some people stay for long, but those are very few people. People you can actually trust. Friendships that you cherish, right? They're usually low maintenance. They're great. But what I'm trying to say is that the only thing that is going to be a constant in your life is yourself. I know. Because if you don't like yourself, then you're in big trouble. But that's true. Like, we are the only thing we're going to have forever. We're going to wake up in the morning and go to sleep with ourselves. We die alone, of the whole thing. I mean, the casket is for one person, right? And that person is you and I. I mean, us, you, me. I don't know. I'm not, I'm not saying that anyone is going to deceive, Oh my God, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that there's only room for one, okay? And that one is you. I'm trying not to sound ominous. I'm not threatening anyone, okay? What I'm trying to say is that you are the person of your life. You are the person of your life. Isn't that fantastic? Sometimes we think, oh, I can't wait to meet my person, my soulmate. Girl, you already are your soulmate. You're the person that's going to be with you through good and bad, you know, in sickness and health, in poverty and wealth. I don't know. You are the one that's going to be there. You have been there for yourself till now, and you're going to continue to be there for yourself for as long as you live. Oh, how exciting. So, yeah, this is the most important relationship you're ever going to have is the one you have with yourself. Okay? You are the only guaranteed thing in your life. As long as you're alive, you have you. Other people, I don't know. Okay? The sooner we accept that, the happier we're going to be. Move on, okay? Learn the lessons from the people that you meet, but don't get too attached. We're not supposed to be attached to people. Anything, actually. We're not supposed to be attached to anything, this world, in this life, because it's all, smoke and mirrors. It's all going to go away at some point. Okay? I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. Respect that. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.